now we go on to the Los Angeles Chargers, which was a kind of a difficult situation for me as well. But you got it.
So, for those that follow my show know how much I love Justin Herbert. I do not like the narrative around Justin Herbert. I don't like it at all. We don't have enough time in the show to
He's not
unpack
winning enough
that.
games.
The man's 19-20
Right.
as a starter. Fine. You don't like that? He's a game, like he's half a game under 500 in his career. Whatever.
Right. With a very dysfunctional and
with a
unhealthy
very
team.
dysfunctional, very unhealthy team on the sidelines, off the sidelines, on the field, off the field.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But quarterback, so real quick, small rant. I love, you talk about Jimmy G and people say quarterbacks wins aren't a quarterback stat. Then you get to someone like Justin Herbert, and those same people that say that wins don't count for Jimmy G count them for Justin Herbert. Either wins are a quarterback stat, or they're not. You can't have it both ways. If they're going to count for Jimmy G, they're going to count for Justin Herbert. I believe that wins are a quarterback stat, and so therefore, yes, when you look at Justin Herbert being 19-20 in his career, it doesn't look good. But let's think about what he's had to play with around him. Yep. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who I love and adore, and I think they're phenomenal when they're healthy. Here's the thing, though. They haven't been healthy.
Right.
When you look at the tight end, I think Jared Cook is the best tight end he's played with so far in his career. Or maybe it's Gerald Everett, but like neither of those guys are in their prime. Right. Look at who Pat Mahomes is throwing the ball to. Look at who Lamar Jackson has been throwing the ball to. Like they've been like, look at who Jimmy G's throwing the ball to. Look at who Derek Carr has thrown the ball to with the tight end position. And now Jimmy G again with Michael Mayer. Like, look at who Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball to. Jalen Hurts, Dalton Schultz, I think is phenomenal. Look at who like the tight end position is important.
Revolutionary if you score, bro. Every quarterback is different with the tight end. Every quarterback. I don't care how great you are throwing your receivers. If you have that safety blanket, we've seen it with even some of the pissiest arms in the league. Jared Goff and Jimmy G. They can make the big throws, but they love that safety blanket.
Let's think about one of the greatest quarterback tight end duos to ever step foot in a football field for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of who was on the outside, you could always count on Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates for a big play. You can always count on Pat Mahomes to Travis Kelce for a big play. And I can keep going. So me personally, I'm a big tight end guy. I do think the Chargers have failed Justin Herbert by not getting him a young, consistently healthy, consistently reliable tight end. That's either there. I have to morally, because I said the Broncos window is closed, I have to say the Chargers window is closed. Because the Broncos on paper are slightly better.
Yeah.
In my heart of hearts, right? And I'm a big fact over feelings guy. But in my heart, because of what I know that Justin Herbert brings to the table, because of what I know that Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams bring to the table when they're healthy, if this is a healthy Chargers team from game 1 to game 17, the window is half open. Because when healthy, this team can compete with anybody.
Yes.
But logistically,
you're good.
They unfortunately are not on the same level as the Broncos. And so because I said the Broncos window is closed, I just have to say the Chargers window is closed. That's my objective football analysis.
Yeah.
Subjectively, if you're just asking me, do I think the Chargers compete for a championship? Absolutely. I think they can compete for a championship this season if they're healthy. But objectively, it's closed.
Yeah. And I'm just a step above you there because I originally wanted to say it was wide open, and here's why. Like, when are the Chargers going to get any more damn loaded on paper, right? Like, we remember the offseason last year.
Yeah.
J.C. Jackson for a freaking bag of chips. They get Khalil Mack. Derwin James is supposed to come back healthy. I mean, all the moves that they were making, they bring in Eric Kendricks. Joey Bosa needs to come back healthy as well. So it gets to a point where it's like, how much more talent can the league really give you before you have to pay Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Like, he's probably going to be him or Burrow will probably be the highest paid quarterbacks ever in NFL history just because the hype that's around them. And in my opinion, they both deserve it because we both know what they're capable of. Some people would only say Burrow and not Justin Herbert, but how many more chances will the Chargers actually get before Justin Herbert comes and eats $250 million at least. Maybe he wants a Patrick Mahomes type deal because he's telling you, crossing his heart on the Bible, I want to be here for the next 15 years. How are you going to possibly react to that then? I'm not here to speculate about Justin Herbert's contract, but again, you only get so many chances before that payday comes, before those players that are consistently unhealthy might want to retire. Or maybe they want to go play in another scheme because they might not feel like this scheme is suiting their game well enough to actually keep them healthy. And yes, that's an actual thing. Your coach can use you in an incorrect way and not to your skill set enough to where you can hurt yourself, to where you can exhaust yourself. And realistically, with a head coach like Brandon Staley, who I had all of the hope in the world for coming over being the D coordinator with the Rams and just winning the Super Bowl, or I think, did he come over after they won the Super Bowl?
He did.
Okay. So coming out of that setting, I was like, oh, let's go. Like, let's go. I was hyped. I kind of felt the same way when Mike McCarthy came over. He knew how to run the football. Zeke was still in that time. And then it kind of fell apart. And that's why we have to keep it, I guess, half open for the Cowboys, right? I think you might have said wide open. But, McCarthy's a big X factor. So when you take a look at Brandon Staley here, like, I was hyped when he comes in. I'm like, okay, great. This guy's been in the culture. He's worked next to Sean McVay. He's been to a couple Super Bowls. He finally won one. Like, they have made things happen. And then they go and they blow the lead to the Jaguars after Trevor Lawrence throws 4 interceptions in the first half. And it's just like the Chargers are going to charge her. So let me get to my point here, right? I feel like I'm one step above you. I want to say they're wide open because of how loaded they really are on paper. And if from week 1 to week 17, like you said, they could be completely healthy, I would say that it's wide open. But I'm going to go half open because of the health and because what is Brandon Staley actually going to do in these critical moments in the season? Because we've seen him fall short. We just had it in the playoffs. Chargers fans probably want to close up shop, not close the window, close up shop. After losing that game in the playoffs. I mean, let's be real. It was humiliating. Everybody went right back to their Charger standards, and they just didn't want anything to do with it anymore. Newsflash, Chargers, you got a big, 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 big payday coming up. And the AFC is stacked. So I want to say wide open, but I'm going to go half open here.